flight. Five minutes into the ascent toward orbit. This view from a camera on the external fuel tank.
Discovery, press to ATO, select ISTRIS.
Press to ATO, will select ISTRIS.
That call from Capcom Eric Bowe indicating that Discovery can make minimal abort-to-orbit targets in the event of an engine failure. However, all three main engines continue to perform perfectly.
Discovery, single engine, Ops 3.
Copy, single engine, Ops 3.
Discovery now 336 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, coming up on the 6-minute mark into the flight. The guidance officer in Mission Control confirming that Discovery's computers have commanded the main engines to swivel again, enabling the shuttle to roll to a heads-up position above the fuel tank, gaining more favorable communications through the tracking and data relay satellite system as it heads uphill.
Single engine, ISTRIS 104.
Discovery, roger.
And Discovery, press to MECO.
Roger, press to MECO.
That call from Capcom Eric Bowe indicating that Discovery can make normal main engine cutoff targets in the event of an engine failure. However, 6.5 minutes into the flight, all three main engines performing normally. Discovery now 466 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Less than 2 minutes of powered flight remaining.
Discovery, single engine, press 104, nominal shutdown plan, go for the 20-second plus X, no go to pitch.
Discovery, copy all, 20-second plus X, no go to pitch.
The 20-second plus X referred to by Capcom Eric Bowe is the maneuver that Commander Rick Sturckow will perform after external tank separation, enabling umbilical well cameras to obtain flash photography of the fuel tank as it drifts away. 7.5 minutes into the flight, the main engine's being throttled down to limit the stress on the shuttle and its 7 crew members to that of 3 times the effect of gravity. Discovery currently traveling at a speed of more than 4 miles per second. Discovery and its crew 700 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. 40 seconds of powered flight remaining. Standing by now for main engine cutoff. That will be followed a few seconds later by the separation of the external fuel tank. Booster officer confirms a good main engine cutoff. Now standing by for external tank separation. External tank separation confirmed. Discovery now in its preliminary orbit. You can see the flash photography as Discovery fades away from the camera view. Good maneuver being commanded by Rick Sturckow, maneuvering Discovery so that those cameras embedded in the umbilical well can perform that flash photography of the discarded external fuel tank. An uneventful ride to orbit for the shuttle Discovery, 2 days shy of its 25th anniversary of its maiden flight, beginning a 13-day mission.
Discovery, nominal MECO, OMS 1 is not required.
Discovery, roger.
This is an extraordinary view of the moon, right behind the tail of Space Shuttle Discovery, as the shuttle orbits some 150 miles above the southern tip of Africa.
Good evening, Houston. I think this is a little view of our OMS 2 burn activity. Jose's still in his helmet and Pat out of his. And we're all just cleaning up our orbit so that we can be nice and stable. I'm lucky enough to be out of my helmet, and CJ's still in his.
Okay, and this is Nicole. Here we are down on the mid-deck. I'm still sitting in my seat, just getting used to my new space legs, I guess. And we're back up in the flight deck, so I'll hand it over.
All right, this is getting ready for the OMS 2 burn. You can see there's a parachute cover there. You can see that it accelerates toward the rear, toward Jose, and he's batting it up toward the front. And that was kind of fun there.
Kevin and CJ, after they had completed the burn. A little bit of the commander. He was the last one out of the seat.
Hey, there's a good shot of our PLT. This is Jose Hernandez adjusting to the 0G, as Kevin can show you there with the pencil, that we are really in space in a 0G environment.
There you can see the moon out the forward window. Focus isn't quite sharp. And then here is the next thing is Pat and Krista were getting ready to open the payload bay doors. There's that's Kevin going down to the mid-deck to get his suit off. And you can see Krista set up that camera. If you watch very closely, pretty soon you'll see the door move, actually. There it goes. You can see it moving out there out the back window. That was pretty good. Good teamwork by Pat and Krista. They did the doors and the KU band antenna.
And as far as Commander CJ taking some great shots here. Very useful, by the way, to add a headlamp. I'm bored with almost every crewman member by now. Jose, our MS2, playing with power supply for laptops. That was his main job after we got into orbit, and it's all working now. He's done a great job of getting the laptops going. We always look for things coming out of the payload bay, especially when we first get to orbit. Just happened to notice one of the small buttons there that is used to help tack down the MLI in the payload bay. We're able to get a shot of it as it floated away.
Down on the mid-deck, you can see things are pretty busy. There's a lot of bags and a lot of gear that needs to be unstowed and restowed. You can see here, Christopher deep into the ditch, helping me out with some of the very large 5 MLE bags. These are where we store a lot of our equipment for station as well as for shuttle. And here's Nicole. You can see her in all her glory, hair all over the place. A lot of fun. Again, it's a pretty busy place, the mid-deck, as we try and reconfigure this rocket into an on-orbit work platform.
I had just gotten out of my suit and long underwear and had gone in there to pick up my clothes, get my socks on, and I'll be headed up to do some arm work, beginning to take the arm out of cradle and check it out for use tomorrow when we do the inspection.
And this is what the view looks like as we're heading from the mid-deck up to the flight deck. You can see us going through the flight deck access port. You can